Hi everybody, Jamie here, and I wanted to show you some tricks for making the R sound today. Normally I wouldn't ask parents to do this at all at home until the sound is really well established in my office, but extraordinary times, so let's give it a shot. So when we talk about the R sound, we usually work on R. The way that I find most effective for most kids is to make a bowl shape or a boat shape. So if you can see my hands, my fingers would be, the tips of my fingers would be the front of the tongue, and I would curl up the tongue like this, or with two hands we might show it like this so we can show the way the sides of the tongue curl also. So it's kind of a boat or a bowl shape. It'll make more sense when I show you. So there's another way to make the R sound where the tongue kind of, if you're looking at it from the side this way, this would be the tip of the tongue. The tongue kind of bunches up like this. But I find most kids can learn the other way more easily. So, R, R, R. You can see the way my tongue lifts. So a few things that we talk about to make this sound are the tip of the tongue curling and the sides of the tongue lifting. So we talk about making a U shape with the tongue. And that looks like that. So the sides of the tongue kind of come up and touch the top teeth. And we think about sort of the teeth being like railroad tracks, and the tongue moves forward and backward along those tracks in a U shape. And that movement can be a way to sort of help facilitate the R sound. One key thing is starting with the tongue down, so it's resting on the floor of the mouth behind the bottom teeth. And that gives it space to curl up. So keeping the mouth not wide open, but about halfway open, R is helpful. So sometimes kids will work on the R and they'll get too far back in the mouth, where it kind of starts closing off the throat. We don't want that. We want to use the back of our tongue to lift up also. R. So I talk about how the whole tongue is sort of like an elevator, and it lifts up. So I'll show you again a few more times. The kind of things that I say to kids are curl up the sides, lift the tongue, lift like an elevator, and making sure that they're curling the tip of their tongue also. R, R, R. The last thing to remember is the tongue tension. So the tongue is a muscle, and just like any other muscle, it can be kind of relaxed and loose, or it can be flexed or tense. So I sometimes will show kids like a bicep, and it'll be loose and flabby, and then when you curl it up, it gets nice and tight and taut and tense. And so we need to have tension in the tongue in order to make the sound correctly. The whole tongue kind of squeezes a little bit. So those are some tricks for making the R sound.